Welcome back. Here we are, Racing to Real Estate. Episode 3, JR.
3. Hold up your 3 in honor of the great one, Earnhardt.
Earnhardt.
Hold up the 3.
Yeah.
Lap number 3. But that's a good one. Hey, you know what? Here's a 3 for you, right?
Let's hear it.
Okay. The last 3 drivers who have won at the California Speedway, at Auto Club Speedway, the last 3 drivers who have won there are mired in career-long winless streaks. But now you take that into consideration, just in between last win and win. So, okay, Jimmie Johnson won in 2016, right? 63 races for Jimmie Johnson since his last win.
Wow.
That is wacky. Buddy won there in 16. The next winner there is Kyle Larson. 50 races for Kyle Larson without a win. And then last year's winner at this race, Martin Truex Jr. Now, granted, okay, he's only 21 races without a win, and he kind of laughs when people say, because it took him so long, to get that first win.
Right.
So he's kind of laughing at a winless streak. But the last 3 drivers who have won at Auto Club Speedway are mired in long winless streaks. So that could be big this weekend if you believe in the 3 numerology.
Yeah, sometimes I believe in numerologies like that, but I have a hard time wrapping my head around thinking that Kyle Busch is going to go 20 or more races without a win.
It'll probably never happen. And he could get that 200 mark this weekend. And okay, people, we're not going to say that it has anything to do with Richard Petty. Don't yell at us.
Right. Well, maybe we'll debate or give some personal opinion on that at some point during the show. But anyway, man, happy to be back. So like I said, season 2 here, episode 3, filming from the offices of Anchor Real Estate. And it's a beautiful Wednesday out, John. The sun's shining. It's mid-60s.
2 days in a row without rain. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I think it's like the first time in months, it seems like.
Yeah.
So
I was going to call truck driver Noah Gregson or Xfinity driver Noah Gregson and ask him if he could build us an ark.
Why Noah? Well, yeah, okay,
it's
yeah,
Noah.
I see, because it's Noah. Yeah,
Noah.
yeah.
Noah
So he can build the ark because he's Noah.
Yeah,
I got it.
That was too far to go.
I was a little slow on picking up on that.
That was way too far to go
there at the
for
beginning,
one,
but no, I get it.
Hey, so I had a great day today, Josh. Started out at one of our commercial properties that we have up for lease and shot a video there and met a couple clients there that were interested in looking at it. And then we got into something that we get into all the time in real estate. It's that back and forth. We have a buyer client who wants to pay a certain amount for a house, and he has offered that amount to a seller that has a higher opinion
Don't
of
they
what
always?
the house is worth. So we've been going back and forth on that all day today, and hopefully we will come to some type of an agreement on that. But that's just part of the deal, is that when you're representing a client, you want to make sure that they don't pay too much for a house. And we kind of feel like our comps say that it's priced too high. Sellers say that it's not priced too high. So we're going back and forth. So that continues.
Yeah. Now, is this a seller for sale by owner, or do they have a realtor?
They have an agent.
They have an agent,
and she has been very good to work with.
Yeah.
She has been, very open, and we're trying to go back and forth. And I don't think there's no animosity whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's
trying to get the best deal for everybody's trying to get the best deal for themselves or their client. Yeah.
Exactly, and it was a funny exchange we had last night, kind of late. She said, "Hey, look, my client wants to get this deal done, but we don't want to give the house away." To which I responded, "My client wants to get this deal done, but he does not want to pay too much for said house." So So the negotiation continues, and hopefully, something will work out on that. But that's what the day has been like.
Nice. Well, I mean, I could think of worse things to be doing during your day rather than negotiating contracts for houses. So that's cool, man. Well, hopefully, congrats will be in order. Hopefully, you guys can get that deal worked out and sell your buyer clients a house. That's a good thing. So, all right. Well, jumping right in here, John, we'll kind of stay after the same format that we did last week. And by the way, I had a couple of people, John. I shared this, obviously for anybody, listening, they probably know how to hear it, but, just a reminder out there, listening to the podcast, it's on iTunes. Mm-hmm. It's on Spreaker.com. That's actually the software that we use to record the podcasts. And they also have a front facing, website that you can go to and listen to all kinds of different podcasts, ours being one. And then we always, share this. So Racing to Real Estate, obviously social media. We have, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we share the podcast on all those. And I had a couple people. So I shared the podcast from Racing to Real Estate on my personal Facebook. And I had a couple people message me saying, hey, if we want to stop by and watch you guys record this podcast, number one, when do you do it? And number two, where are you located? So, I messaged them back. But for anybody listening that wants to stop by and watch the podcast in person, we normally record around 4 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. And it is recorded at the offices of Anchor Real Estate, which are in Mooresville, North Carolina. And the physical address there is actually listed on all the Anchor Real Estate social media. So if you want to stop by and watch Mr. John Roberts and myself
Mr. John Roberts
record, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Look up Anchor Real Estate on social media. You'll see the address there. It's 146 Mooresville Commons Way, or Suite F like Frank.
Yeah, and Josh, also, you know what? This particular podcast is in conjunction with our Wind Down Wednesday. So come by here, and it is Wind Down Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we can have some fun, talk about real estate.
And then afterwards, we're going to drink a glass of wine or two.
Have a glass of wine. Yeah. And the boss lady who runs the show here, Tracy Roberts, she's here.
She is here. She's over there plugging away.
Hi, Tracy Roberts.
Her little office. So she's working.
Yeah, she's working while we're talking.
She's working on some good stuff, John. She's actually working on finalizing some details on our new listing that will come to market tomorrow.
Yeah, so I can see the look over there, the look on the face. It's, why am I working and you guys are running your mouths and not doing anything?
Yeah. Thank God for you, Tracy. We love you. Okay, so we'll follow the same agenda that we did last week. So we're going to recap ISM Raceway there in Phoenix. We're going to do some social media shout outs. I got a good one today, John.
Okay.
We will review our Anchor Real Estate League Fantasy Live NASCAR results, in which you and Tracy did much better at ISM.
We did better.
You did. We'll get to that in a second. We'll look at the NASCAR Props Challenge for upcoming race. Get you up to speed on any new real estate stuff that we got happening. And then obviously we'll do our clear to close. We might have a guest come in and join us shortly on the podcast. So that'll be exciting.
Coming in shortly. Hey, Josh, do you know, or do our listeners know what ISM is? What the sponsorship is with ISM?
I don't. I heard a year or two ago when it switched over, but I don't remember.
I had to look it up.
Okay.
I looked it up the other day.
Enlighten me.
Okay. ISM is an internet company. And they provide internet out in the West, and they're a big company, and obviously they have pretty deep pockets for being able to be the title sponsor of a racetrack. But so NASCAR put in $174 million, $174 million to upgrade that facility, and then ISM, with their contribution to it, is going to make Phoenix the first racetrack that is completely Wi-Fi accessible, which I have, I'm sure other people, I shouldn't take much credit for this, but I've been saying for years, okay, there's nothing more you probably want. There's no other sporting venue where you probably want Wi-Fi accessibility than a racetrack, because you can't really talk to your buddy when you're sitting there when the race cars are going around.
Pretty loud,
yeah. So if you have the Wi-Fi access and you can communicate like everybody does these days with your evil rectangle.
Yep.
But that very shortly, ISM will be completely Wi-Fi accessible anywhere you're sitting in the facility, and it'll be the first racing facility in the country to do so.
That's impressive.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Congratulations to them.
Congratulations to them, absolutely. And ISM is, I guess, a big player in that. You said they're a technology company?
Technology company. They're internet provider.
Okay.
So they, so that was what kind of gives them the advantage in that situation.
Yep.
And boy, I remember I'm really glad that they fixed that press box over there, because that was the worst. That was the worst press box, and not the worst.
So, John, that means that once they're completely Wi-Fi accessible over there at ISM, the Gen Z folks, as I call them, they'll be able to communicate back and forth with Snapchat.
With their evil rectangles.
Yeah. I don't do Snapchat much, but
I don't know what Snapchat is. I just figured out the tweeter.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So I guess since we're talking about ISM, let's go ahead, jump right in and do a quick recap there of the weekend. Kyle Busch with the sweep. was pretty cool. I mean, a sweep's a sweep, right? I mean, trucks weren't there, so I don't know if it's a sweep in his mind, but he won both. He won both races over the weekend. So
I think it's absolutely amazing when somebody can do that. And this is just a personal thing with all this discussion that's going on right now about Kyle Busch. He's doing something that no one else is doing. Okay. And people keep saying, I don't want to hear about 200, about 199. I want to hear about 52 because he's got 52 victories at NASCAR's Top Series.
Right.
But I want to throw the BS flag on that because it is not like Tom Brady going back to Michigan and throwing passes.
No.
It is not like Randy Johnson going to AAA and throwing fastballs. It's not comparative. It is a much more difficult task because a lot of those wins, how many of Kyle Busch's wins in the Xfinity Series came against Dale Jr., Kevin Harvick, Elliott Sadler. The list goes on. He was competing, and he wasn't competing against people in lesser equipment. When Dale Jr. was running Junior Motorsports equipment, and with Hendrick backing, he's not beating up on inferior talent.
Right.
He is showing how good he is, and that's why you need to celebrate the 200. Doesn't have anything to do with Richard Petty's 200.
Right.
And it's not like he's going down to lower, lesser series to boost his ego. He's racing against the best of it. It's not a comparison.
No.
And to win both of those events in one, we used to celebrate the weekend sweep all the time.
And when I hear people say it's like comparing, Tom Brady if you add in his college record, and I mean, so if we're gonna say that, then Kyle Busch would be, if we're going to compare that, let's compare Kyle Busch's ASA wins and his wins at the Bull Ring back in the day when he was a teenager.
Winston West.
So I mean, if we added all them up, he's way, way, way over 200. So, but I think to have, 199 now wins, potentially 200 or 201 after this weekend, to me, once he gets to that 201 number, it makes him the winningest driver in NASCAR's top 3 series.
Yep, and he's already the winningest driver in the trucks in the Xfinity.
In the Xfinity, yeah.
So you put that together, and also, when you look at it. Now, here's an interesting question that came up yesterday, Josh, and I want your opinion on it, too. Okay. Right now, Kyle Busch is sitting at 52 Cup wins.
Right.
At 33 years of old, soon to be 34. Does he eclipse 100?
Man, that's a good question.
It's tough.
I mean, it is. It's really hard.
I say no.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's going to be really hard to do. I mean, I think that he's 33 years old. Let's just assume that Kyle has
10,
maybe 10 more years. I mean, I was going to say 7.
Yeah. So that's 5 wins a year.
Yep.
For the next 10 years.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I think 5 wins a year for the next foreseeable few years is
hard enough.
Hard enough, but definitely reachable for him the way he's competing now. But
he'll do that.
It's just too it's just too hard to tell. It's too hard to predict the future, especially in NASCAR. I mean, I know I heard him in his post-race interview, throw out that 100 number and say it's a number that sounds cool. Let's see what happens. And I think if he got to 100, John, correct me if I'm wrong, that would put him a third on the all-time Cup win list. Is that right?
Second. Pierce got 105, right?
Yeah, Petty. So you got Petty.
Well, yeah, third. I'm sorry. I was looking at something. I was like something reasonable. Okay, yeah, you're correct. It will be third. It will be 200, 105, and then 100 if he were to be able to get it. Earnhardt 76, Gordon 84, Jimmy Johnson 82, I guess.
Yeah, I think Gordon's 83. Actually a little more. I think Gordon might be 90.
I'm sorry.
93. I think
Gordon's
Jimmy's
93.
83.
Jimmy's 84.
Yeah,
Jimmy's
84. Yeah, okay. Yeah, somewhere in there.
So whatever. It's a ton of wins.
Yeah. But congrats to him. I think that when he does hit that number, it's a number that's very impressive. It's a number that speaks to him, and like we've said, I don't know that it's comparable to Richard Petty. I don't think people are necessarily trying to compare it to that, but it's still a stat that deserves a lot of conversation.
Yep.
So
he's one of the greatest drivers of all time.
Absolutely. So what else stuck out to you about ISM, John? I think overall, I thought it was a great race once again. It kind of turns into some fuel mileage stuff there towards the end. There's the top 2. Kyle Busch and Blaney there kind of battled it out with a what appeared to be a pretty big lead. And I think a lot of people thought in the last 20 laps that them two were going to run away and have a 6 or 7 second lead on the third place finisher, which was Truex, but they ended up slowing down quite a bit, and Truex ended up being, I think, within a second or two at the end of to Kyle Busch. So, but overall, man, I thought it was a good race. It started off with not many cautions, and then we started getting some cautions, and there were a few incidents here and there, but overall, good race. I thought, a lot of passing once again. I think a lot of downforce in them cars with that high horsepower engine package created for good racing.
Well, yeah, I enjoyed the race, but also I thought when it came down to the end, there were two drivers that needed a good run that got it. Jimmie Johnson finished 8th. Ryan Blaney finished 2nd.
Good point.
They both really needed good runs at the time. Kyle Busch's win now means that out of 4 different races, we've had 4 different winners. And that kind of sets us up to where, okay, you got 16 spots in the playoffs. And we've never really come that close to somebody actually winning and a winner being left out of what used to be the chase and now the playoffs. Even when we had 10 spots, we still didn't leave out winners. Then we went to 12. Yep. Still never left out a winner.
Right.
If you won, you were in. And then we're going to 16 because of the elimination format. But there could be a potential, and this is a long shot. I realize how someone's going to get hooked up and is going to start rattling off a bunch of wins. But look at our winners that haven't won yet this year. And we've had 4. And most likely, I'm not taking anything away from Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, or either of the two Penske drivers that have won so far. But look at the winners that we've had in the past that run well at California and haven't won yet.
Yep.
There's a long list of that.
There is.
Start with Martin Truex Jr.
Yep.
Kyle Larson. Jimmie Johnson. Yep. Kevin Harvick. Winners that haven't won yet. Chase Elliott. The list just goes on.
It does.
On
Blaney.
Blaney's a winner.
Yep.
Hadn't won yet.
Yep.
And has potential. And then you just go on down the list. I mean, this is a series of winners. And I think it would be really interesting if it came down to it. And you had 17 winners this year. It's very unlikely.
Yeah. Because it's always been that winning you're in concept.
Yep.
Right? So,
and that's touchy.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily now. Now, if you had more than 26 opportunities, now we only have 26 opportunities to set that field.
Right.
If you had a whole year, maybe 10 more races, you could eclipse 16 winners. But the record is 19. 2002 or something.
So 19 winners in a full season.
Yeah, in a full season. That's 19 different winners, but that was before we had any type of playoff or chase format.
Yep.
To where you excluded people. So now when you're looking at what could potentially happen, you'd have to do it. You have to have 16 different winners in 26 races. And then all 16 would be winners. But if you had one more, I mean, that guy's going to get left out.
Somebody's going to be on the outside looking in.
I think it'd be cool if it happened because you want parity in all sports. That's why other professional sports, that's why the lowest, the team with the worst record from the year before drafts first.
Right.
It's the idea of creating parity because you don't want one person running away with it. And, that's why NASCAR works so hard to create somewhat of a parity to level the playing field. Mm-hmm. So you have more winners because – I mean, let's face it, everybody just was hooting and hollering and complaining when Jimmie Johnson was winning every dang thing.
Right. And then last year, everybody was complaining about the Big Three.
Yeah, Big Three, well, they're winning every dang thing.
They win everything, so it would be kind of cool to see that many different winners. And if you see 17 and one person's on the outside, that person's probably going to feel...
they're going to be pissed.
They're going to be mad.
They're going to be mad. They're going to say...
Yeah. They might be petitioning NASCAR for a change in the rule system. But, that'll be interesting to watch. And I guess I hadn't given much thought to that the fact that there were 4...
Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news.
Okay, John, what is it?
From our Anchor studio here in Charlotte. Breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, Dwayne Ogles, one of the best tire changers, pit crew members on pit road.
I don't know about that.
Is that true?
No.
Oh, I feel as if it's true.
Mediocre.
Mediocre, huh? He's been at it for a long time, though, right, Dwayne?
15 years, yeah.
15 years.
Yes.
All right.
That's a long time on pit road.
Yeah, well, he's one of our partners here, Josh.
He is, yeah. So Dwayne's not only a NASCAR tire changer there at Penske, but also a realtor with us here at Anchor Real Estate. So, Dwayne, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us for a little bit this afternoon.
I always just wanted to say that. Remember when the local news guys around Charlotte, used to always say, we have breaking news. coming into our Gastonia Bureau, a grizzly discovery. But now we have breaking news, but it's a good breaking news.
Good breaking news.
You sounded very official when I walked in. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So we just kind of got done, Dwayne. We wrapped up, or we were kind of recapping the race out there at Phoenix, giving our opinions, and we got a couple minutes yet before we got to move on. How was your Phoenix out there?
It was good. It's nice we get to fly out on Saturday and kind of hang out and spend time together as a team and kind of do a team dinner. So that's always fun to do because your race team is kind of like your second family, as you know, Josh. So it's a good time. Spend some quality time with those guys. Sunday was nice. It was good fire suit weather. It's like, we like to call it. It
stayed fairly cool, right? Mid-60s or something, yeah.
Yes, it was a nice day. The race was cool. I guess the new semi-new package ran good out there.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a good day.
Yep.
Wish Blaney could have pulled it off.
Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been 3 in a row for your guys' organization too, huh?
Yeah, for sure. That would have been great. That would have put all 3 of our guys in the chase. It didn't work out. Strategy didn't play out with the 2 tires there. So it is what it is. There's a lot of strategy going on now with this new package, though.
Yeah, for sure.
And your team Penske. Penske and your driver's Paul Menard.
Correct, yes. Yeah, with the alliance with the Wood Brothers deal. So work in the shop, do real estate with you guys on the side, and then change tires on Sunday.
Yeah, so work in the shop in the Penske shop.
Yes, correct.
Because Menard's, the Wood Brothers car, where's their shop located at now?
They're just right down the road in the drag strip race park.
Okay.
And they don't do a whole lot out of there. You know, most of their stuff is actually out of our shop.
So all their fabrication work, their body work,
some small stuff,
is done at your shop. There they probably just assemble and set up and
pretty much, yeah. And even more so, I think they've been doing a little bit more, even setup wise and stuff like that at our place lately. It's kind of a one-stop shop.
Right. Very cool. Very cool.
So if pit road speed at a certain racetrack is like, say, 50 miles an hour or 55 miles an hour, how would you like to do your job? Try to do your job going out and taking a knee on the side of 77 with cars going by you at 55 miles an hour.
Well, first, John,
is that about close?
I don't know if I've seen traffic move 55 miles an hour on 77 in a long time.
It's usually 30.
But I know what you're saying there, yeah.
But that's pretty hairy, isn't it?
It's very hairy, yeah.
And you got guys whizzing by you.
It's not so much. It's not so much that it's sitting back and watching. Say maybe you're a lap down or whatever it may be, or you're on a different pit sequence with the other guys, and you see guys that are pitting next to each other, and on the racetrack they're just far enough apart to where one of them's going to be pulling in when the other guy's finishing their stop and pulling out, and it gets hairy as far as jumping out in front of your guy when the other guy's pulling out, or when you see another guy pulling out and it clips the rear bumper of the other guy pulling in, and the guy spins in the pit stall, and it comes close and or takes out a couple guys on that crew. You're like, this could happen to me.
We've seen that already this year, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Or a carrier or somebody got hit on pit road.
It's everything. The new package, you've got to get everything you can get on pit road and or on the restarts. Once they burn the tires off, going full throttle for the first 10 to 15 laps. It's really hard for them to pass with this new the new rear spoiler deal. So
okay, funny story for you. I was out of Sonoma, and I was talking to a friend of mine who was a pit crew coach who shall remain unnamed. And his jackman came walking by, and he said to his jackman, he said, "Hey, did you go to church this morning?" And he goes, "Yes, sir, I did." And he goes, "Good, Robbie Gordon's pitting behind us."
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my gosh. I heard
there are definitely certain guys that you look out for more than the others. You just have to be very self-aware. You've got to always be situationally aware. Be aware, watch the leaderboard, know where you're pitting, your guy is on the racetrack compared to the other guy is.
Yeah, that's in front of or behind you.
Yeah, exactly. Are they in front and behind? Are you going to be pulling out when they're pulling in and vice versa? So you just have to be very situationally aware. Stuff can happen really quick.
For sure. Well, cool. Well, Dwayne, thanks for joining us. Stick around. We're gonna talk a little bit here, and I don't know how much you'll want to chime in on this, but we're gonna talk a little bit about our Anchor Real Estate Fantasy Live NASCAR League. Obviously, Dwayne, you don't play in that. It would be a bit of a conflict of interest.
They had a big seminar about fantasy leagues and gambling if you're in the industry, so I try to steer clear of that.
I understand. Yeah. That's a wise man. But maybe that doesn't say, though, that he couldn't look at me without and just say, "Don't do that," because I'm not good.
Okay.
Not very good.
So let's transition into that, John. Let's talk a little bit about. So obviously our listeners by now know we have a NASCAR Fantasy Live League. It's Anchor Real Estate. We're up to like 15 people in the league now. Play on NASCAR.com is where you sign up.
And in 15th place.
Well, I think you're
we're 14 now?
You might. I'll look I'll look in just a second here.
Hey, we moved up.
You might have moved up a position, but free to play. So it don't cost you anything. It's a lot of fun. So anybody out there that hasn't signed up that wants to, just go to NASCAR.com, click on the Fantasy Live, and as you're signing up, it'll ask you if you want to join a league. Select Anchor Real Estate, and our password is Anchor with a capital A _NASCAR all caps. _2019. So have any questions or issues joining up, just shoot me or John a message on social media. We're easy to find. Okay, so here we are, John. We just wrapped up ISM. So let me pull this up here.
So last week, I thought, we picked Kyle Busch as the winner, but also and that, you're crazy not to pick Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick was on our roster, but also we had Eric Armadillo, which was a good Amarola. I know he's Almirola. But and that was good because Almirola going into last week had 2 top 10s in a row, and the last 3 races he's been top at Phoenix. He's been top 10. So he was a very good value pick as well. And we forgot to put in our pick for the poll. Not to say we would have picked Ryan Blaney, but we just forgot to put in our pick.
And I forgot this week too. And normally when I pick the poll, I just kind of look at qualifying practice from Friday, and when it's over, I pick somebody that it was either the fastest or looked to be like they were going to be really quick, and chances are I may have picked Blaney because he definitely led the practice out there on Friday, but I didn't get in there in time to pick. So I have my 5 starters there, John. I had Blaney in my roster. I had Chase Elliott, which ended up. I don't remember exactly where he finished, but he was hit or miss most of the day. I had Eric Almirola as well. I had Harvick, and I had Kurt Busch. Surprising, I shouldn't say surprisingly. I mean, because Kurt's been very quick this year, but he ran up front most of the day there at ISM as well. And then I had Keselowski in the garage. So I left Busch off the roster this week just because I had him last week, and I'm trying to save some uses for him.
Right?
Yeah. I wanted to save some uses for him, and I kicked myself in the butt for not starting him there because he has a heck of a average at that place. But I'll probably be starting him this weekend at Fontana. But so I had Keselowski in my garage, and he got into some trouble, fairly early on there. So I left him there and kept with my original 5 starters. And I did pick. I was trying to go back here and see what I had for my bonus picks, because I did pick some bonus. I did have some bonus picks, and I think I got the first one right. I think I had the stage 1 winner right, so that was kind of cool. But if we go to our league here and look at everybody, we'll just pull up ISM. Looks like our winner for ISM was Jolie's Granny.
Don't know Jolie's Granny.
Okay, well I do. So
you know Jolie's Granny?
Yeah. So Jolie is Christina Grossu's dog.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and Christina is obviously Greg Biffle's girlfriend.
Okay.
And Christina also plays in our league, and
so
her
the grandmother's her mom.
Jolie's granny is Christina's mom, and so Jolie's granny, Christina's mom, won with 216 points. P. Duncan, I think that's one of your guys' buddies, yes. Patrick.
Yep.
So he was in second. Pirate Girl, I'm not sure who that is. The Roberts team coming home in 4th place this weekend at ISM Raceway.
Thank you.
Yes, really good. And
that's because Tracy Roberts did the picks.
Yeah.
That's why.
Good job, Tracy.
All right, so here's why this time around, Josh, you should put Jimmy Johnson on your team.
Oh, boy. This is going to have to be very convincing.
Okay, I'm going to convince you here, right?
Okay.
Jimmy Johnson leads almost every category at Auto Club Speedway. He's got 24 starts there, but his 6 wins there are the most all time.
When was his last one there?
2016.
16.
Yeah, two races ago.
Okay.
He won 3 races ago, 2 in between. So his second place finish is 5, and that's the most all time. Top 5s, 13, most all time. Top 10, 17, most all time. No DNFs, fewest all time. Laps led, lead lap finishes, 24. Every time he's there, he finishes on the lead lap. 980 laps led there is the most of all time, and his average finish of 7.2 is the best of all time of any drivers. So this is, to Jimmie Johnson's best average finish at any track, and this includes Dover, where he's won 11 times, won 11 races at Dover. But his best average finish is Auto Club Speedway, 7.2. So Jimmie Johnson will be on the Roberts team this weekend.
Well, I mean, that's a bold move. And before I put him on mine, I'm going to wait until I see some practice results.
See, I jumped the gun, though.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you're 14th.
True. That's a very good point.
That's right. And, John, I am looking here overall, and unfortunately, but I was wrong. You guys are 15th. I thought you moved up a spot. You know, you had a heck of a weekend in ISM. A couple of points. I watch this during the race sometimes. I'll jump on there and just see where everybody's at. And a couple of times you guys were leading, you know, so.
We got some work to do.
Yeah.
But now, Dwayne, mind you, we missed Daytona.
Yes,
we didn't qualify for Daytona.
They took all their picks. They didn't have any picks for Daytona. So I'm not too much better, John, for just, you know, to let you know, I'm 9th out of 15. So I'm not, I'm about 59 points, it looks like, out of the lead. Chris Owens still leading the charge there. So
I feel like it's tough though going into this race with this package we're running out to even take old statistics into consideration.
Yeah, I didn't want to burst John's bubble when he was giving us all those stats about Jimmie Johnson.
Yeah,
I was kind of thinking that, you know, I was like, man, stats are great.
Out the book right now.
But show me the recent stuff, and I think this package, you know, maybe the Hendrick folks are they don't quite have it figured out yet.
But, yeah, for sure. I think I would pull for a Ford team, probably a Penske team, as strong as we were.
You're just saying that.
Atlanta and Vegas or TRD. TRD always shows up there with very strong stuff.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I'll probably have 2 of the 3 Penske drivers in my lineup. I'm sure. You know, I think that just overall, man. I mean, they're just so damn strong right now.
Larson's always strong there too.
Yeah, Larson's really good there. So it'll be fun to watch. I'll probably pick my roster out later tonight, or maybe tomorrow. And the nice thing is you can change it up to like 5 or 10 minutes to the start of the race. So I go in and out of there 10 times before the race starts on Sunday and change it up. But anyway, that'll be fun. So we'll keep watching out for that. And like I said, anybody out there that wants to join us, it's free to play, and we have a lot of fun. Moving on, John, let's talk a little bit about the props challenge. So we did this last week on the show. We went through, we made all of our picks on the show. I won't go through all these questions from ISM. There's 10 questions. You get a point for every right one, and you lose a point for every wrong one. So out of the 10 questions, I had 6 right and 4 wrong. So I scored 2 points at ISM. And
prop bets are fun.
Yeah, they are, and they're up now. They posted yesterday for Auto Club. So let's go through all 10 of these, and Dwayne, feel free to chime in if you can without getting in trouble. Let's go through these, John, and help me make my picks here, and Dwayne. So we've got question number 1. Now this is for Auto Club Speedway. Keep in mind, the last 2 winners have won from the pole at Auto Club. Will Sunday's race winner win with from the front row?
No.
So position 1 and 2. Now front row, not just pole.
1 and 2. It's not going to do it. Someone's going to come from behind.
So somebody third or worse is going to.
Yep.
Okay.
Third or worse is going to win it.
Okay.
Third or farther back, I shouldn't say worse.
I'll agree with you on that. I'll select yes now. And once again, folks, props challenge is very similar to the Fantasy Live. You can go in here and change your answers up into 5 minutes at the start of the race. So fun game to play along in. Okay, question 2. The last 4 Auto Club races have seen an average of 19.5 lead changes. Are we over or under 18.5 lead changes in Sunday's race?
Under.
Ooh, over.
Over? Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a huge track. It's with this new drafting package.
Yeah,
you're going to see
yet to
a
be seen,
lot
right? Are we
more.
going to be
Yeah.
seeing a lot of drafting
So
and
this
side by
is
side? And...
it's almost a modified speedway. These guys aren't going to be on the brakes there.
Yeah.
Very much, and with this new drafting package, I think. I mean, you saw how many lead changes we saw in at Vegas. They were, they made sure to let everybody know how many lead changes there were there compared to the past.
Yeah.
I think you'll see even more here.
Yeah.
I just don't think so. I think it's going to be tough to get that leader. There's going to be plenty of action in the back of the pack, but there's not going to be up front.
Yeah. It's hard. That's a tough one.
It's a tough one. It's hard.
I'm going to go with Dwayne on that, though. I think there's going to be over 18.5.
And if I'm wrong, we simply won't bring it up again.
I like it. All right, question 3. Which Chip Ganassi racing driver will have a higher finishing position, Larson or Busch?
Larson.
Kyle or Dwayne's shaking his head yes over here. I'm going to go with Larson.
Okay, Larson. Yeah, clearly.
All right, will the race winner lead the most laps?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to go yes.
So, Dwayne,
that's
why
such
do
a
you
big-
say yes,
that's such
but
a
you say
toss-up.
over 18.5 lead changes? But you think the person that leads the most laps will win?
I think if you got a fast car, you got a fast car.
Yeah.
That kind of goes back to the first question.
Yeah.
I think it
Come from the front row.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it very well could, but there's so many other cars to choose from other than just the first two.
Yeah. So yes on both. Both of you think the race winner will lead the most laps?
I say yes. I say yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'll stay with you on that. All right. Question 5. Which Joe Gibbs racing driver will have the higher finishing position, Eric Jones or Denny Hamlin?
Denny Hamlin.
Hamlin. You got Hamlin, huh?
Yeah, just
Is Hamlin pretty good at California? Has he won? Has he won at
no,
Fontana?
he's never won there, and he had the incident there where he fractured the vertebrae.
Yeah.
But he's always been up front. He just has bad luck there. And if you look at what Joe Gibbs Racing has done, they had the 1-2-3 finish at Daytona. And the numbers after that, I'm not sure exactly where they are, but Joe Gibbs Racing with the Kyle Busch win is all together.
Yeah.
They got good numbers so far this year.
They do.
I just think Denny Hamlin's going to have a good run
Okay.
this weekend.
I mean, I'm mixed on that. I'll go with you on that and say Hamlin, but that might be one that I change up after I see some practice speeds and 10-lap averages and such. Okay, question number 6 here. Chevrolet has had 3 drivers finish in the top 10 the past 2 Auto Club races. Are we over or under 2.5 Chevrolet drivers finish in the top 10 on Sunday? So three Chevrolet drivers or 2?
3. Yeah, okay. I'm over then. I'm over that.
You're
yeah,
over. You think
I'm
there'll be
over.
you think there'll be 3 or more Chevrolets in the
3
top
more
10?
Chevy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, I had to think about that one for a second, but then
So I mean, really,
Dwayne,
other
what do you
than
think? I mean,
so
I think so,
So who
yeah.
do we got? We got basically the Chevrolet camp is going to be Hendrick. It's going to be Chip Ganassi, and it's going to be
Chase Elliott will be strong. Jimmy Johnson will be strong. Larson will be strong.
and
Kurt
Austin
Busch will be
Dillon's had
strong.
some moments of brilliance this year. Or speed. You
Yeah.
know, I mean they've
Even the 8 cars ran
the
decent
8 car
too.
Hendrick has had speed on a couple of these 1.5-mile tracks. So I could see that. Yeah, I think I could see 3 or more. So I'll go with over. I'll agree with you guys on that. All right, question 7. Kyle Larson has finished first and second in the last 2 Auto Club races. Does he finish in the top 5 on Sunday?
yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Yes.
Kyle Larson's due for. He's had fast cars this year too, man. They've just had they've just struggled a little bit, but
I want to see
Bad
what
luck.
I want to see what happens starting the weekend off, but I'm thinking for our little Sirius XM thing, I think I'm gonna pick him as my winner. I believe.
yeah.
It seems like when
about
these
time.
guys go to their home tracks of the drivers, I don't know if the drivers poke on the teams to put a little bit extra in the car or whatever it may be, but it seems, or just the drivers show up because it's their home track or hometown or home state, whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that always seems to show
Yep,
up.
yep. And it's always pretty heavily publicized too.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
which drivers at their home track,
Yep.
and I think not to steer away too far from this, but speaking about drivers and home tracks, it seems like every time we go to like a Kansas or somewhere, and they always hype up Clint Boyer.
Or
Yeah.
Carl.
And man, he struggles there bad,
And he
don't
struggles,
he?
yeah.
So he's just the opposite of what a lot of these folks.
Yeah.
You look at the
Perhaps
Bushes
that's
and
a
Vegas.
that's a negative
Kansas
thing.
is a
Yeah.
tough track, though.
It is. It is.
Yeah, Vegas is Kurt Busch's worst track.
Yeah.
He has his worst numbers.
But Kyle's awesome there.
Yeah,
Kyle's
Kyle's
home
home
track.
track.
That's a different.
Yeah, for sure. All right, question 8. NASCAR Props Challenge for Auto Club Speedway. Which team will have the highest finishing driver on Sunday? Richard Childress Racing or Roush Fenway Racing? Yeah, that's a tough one, man, because Stenhouse has been, you look at Stenhouse on a couple of these mile and a halves that we've ran this year, and, he's been pretty strong. I think they fell off a little bit at ISM, but that's a different animal than what we're going to see this weekend.
I think the Roush Yates engine package right now is really, really good.
Yeah,
I'd say Roush Yates. I'd say Roush Yates is going to have a
Roush. So you say Roush Fenway?
I'm sorry, Roush Fenway.
Largely because the Roush Yates engine package, is pretty strong right now. But
Ryan Newman may locate his neck before the race. And,
Ryan, we're sorry, buddy. We are fans of yours. We like you on the show.
He knows.
Yeah. John's always trying to make jokes. All right, I'll stay with you on that. Roush Fenway will be the highest finishing driver out of those two on Sunday. Okay, question 9. Jimmy Johnson has an average finish of 10.0 the last 4 races at Auto Club Speedway. Will he finish inside the top 10 Sunday?
Yes, no question.
John says no. That's pretty confident.
I'm confident in James Johnson.
I'm struggling with this.
Yeah,
I'm a big Jimmy Johnson fan. I like the guy to death. I worked for him. I have a lot of friends over there, but man, I'm struggling to see the results. And I would love nothing more than to see him run in the top 10 on Sunday, but I just don't see it happen. I'm going no on that, John. I'm going against you.
Okay.
And we shall see. Yeah. Okay, last question here. NASCAR Props Challenge, Auto Club Speedway. Which Roush Fenway Racing driver will have the higher finishing position between Newman Stenhouse Jr.?
Stenhouse.
I think Stenhouse
I
as
think
well.
so.
But, Newman's quiet. Newman's quiet, though. Newman's one of those drivers.
Solid.
They don't talk about him all day long.
He's there.
And you get in the last 10
there.
laps, and he's in the top 10 somehow. And you haven't seen or heard of him all day. But Stenhouse has just been, he's shown a lot of speed this year, so I'm going to go with you guys on that as well and say Stenhouse. So, all right, there we go. You have picked all 10 props for Auto Club Speedway. So anybody listening that wants to play along in that's not like there's no league or anything on that. So you're not looking for an Anchor real estate league or anything. You just go to NASCAR.com, click on the Props Challenge. They do ask you to sign up, create an account. It does keep points. You score points, and there are ranks in there. And I think the person with the most points gets like $100 gift card to the NASCAR merchandise store.
That's cool. So there's something to actually win.
Yeah. You can go shopping and get your favorite driver's T-shirt in there.
What about your favorite crew member?
Dwayne, do you sell T-shirts at the racetrack?
I do not, no.
No. So
I
you
try
won't be able to
to
get
stay-
Dwayne's. Won't be able to get a
Try to stay in
Dwayne
the pit box.
Ogles T-shirt. All right, so that's good. So we've kind of went through our Fantasy Live, our NASCAR props. Couple things left on the agenda here. We're going to do some social media shout-outs, and we're going to get everybody up to speed, talk a little bit about our life in the real estate world here. So let's dive into that. John, we were talking earlier in the show. You and Tracy are representing a buyer client. They're moving up here from out of state, I think you said, right?
Yep. Yeah, and also Tracy has some great office space in Mooresville, North Carolina that you need to go to anchorre.com and check out.
Yep.
That is a really beautiful place for it. Serves two purposes. It has great warehouse space in the back and really updated, completely renovated office space in the front. So you can take care of your business in the front, but you can also put a lot of stuff in the warehouse.
Party in the back.
Party in
Party
the
in the
back.
back. Yeah. Business in the front, party in the back.
I like it.
Yeah, this is racing to real estate, right?
Yeah.
and also, from what we look at, it's a trend every year. It seems like, but things are really heating up right now. Temperatures rise, so does the real estate market, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah. I've noticed that, and Dwayne, you've been killing it here in the last month or so as well. But I think we've all noticed. I think any active realtor out there doing business has noticed in the last 5 weeks or so that business has really started to pick up. And not that that's necessarily an uncommon thing. We're heading into the spring. We've had a handful of nice days now over the last couple of weeks, and the sun starts shining, and we start flirting with that 70-degree temperature range, and it gets people out of the house and they want to start looking around. So Dwayne, you've got a few deals. You just wrapped one up there last week, I think it was, or earlier this week. So
sold one up in Troutman to good friend of mine and a coworker of my wife's over at the local CrossFit gym over at CrossFit Deepwell. So
nice.
First time home buyer, he's super happy. But he's a very flat, not very excitable. So I know he's very excited, but
level-headed.
He hasn't shown it. He just smiles and says thank you. So it's kind of funny.
You got a few more deals coming up.
Contract,
right? So
for sure. We got one or two to close on the 28th. With another buyer and seller client down the road.
Same person.
Yeah, buyer seller
closing on the sale of their home and closing on the purchase of their home.
Yeah, correct. Day. Yeah, so that worked out.
Is that the first one of those that you've done, or have you done one before?
No, that's my first one. So I learned a little bit on that transaction as far as how to handle that with attorneys and making sure the money gets to the right places.
Two different attorneys doing the.
Yes, okay. Correct. Yeah. Yep. So I had to learn all that, how to make sure this gets wired here and this gets wired there to make sure money's here for this and money's here for the next closing. So those are set to close on the 28th, and then we've got another one set to close hopefully on the 25th down in Charlotte. So that's another PR buddy of mine over at Penske. So. Things have been going, like Josh said, kind of very. Everything's picking up. Everybody's getting cabin fever, trying to get out. Everybody's tired of the rain.
It stopped raining.
Yes, good Lord.
Right. We've had a few dry days, which certainly helps.
Yeah.
Dwayne, how are you getting a majority of this business that you've been picking up? Is most of this coming through referrals and stuff, or are you paying for any leads out there, or do you do the Zillow thing or the Realtor.com or
no? So with me having the full-time job, it really doesn't pay for me to do the Zillow leads or anything like that. I just don't have the time during the day to show a client, when I have my full-time job. So I strictly rely on friends and family and coworkers, stuff like that, to kind of do my deals that understand my schedule and I understand their schedule. So it works out good for everybody. But yeah, just word of mouth, friends, kind of
social media.
So
on social, doing
that's all I really do is I just put my stuff on my social when we go under contract or we close a deal, and it's crazy. It just kind of catches on like wildfire. It's been a big snowball effect for me. I think I'm going into my fourth year of real estate, and it's picked up every year. I think I did 9 last year, and if I could do 9 or 10 more, double that this year, I'd be super happy. So
that's you're saying 9 number of transactions?
Yeah, 9 transactions. Yeah, so I'm already up to 4 now.
I was going to say, by the end of the month, it sounds like you'll have 4. So I mean, your first quarter, you're doing 4, so that puts you at an average maybe of 12 this year.
Yeah, that's if I could get 12, man, I'd be really happy. But Josh and John and Tracy, I always put them on all my listings.
Yep.
Because like I said, I'm gone sometimes, and they always chip in and help me with some comps or do showings or go to closing. So we all work together great as a team, and I appreciate everybody. Yeah, it's been good.
No, absolutely. Well, and while we're talking about teams and everybody helping each other out, we got the 3 of us plus Tracy. We got a large one that we're bringing to market tomorrow, $2.749 million. Will represent the seller of that. It's a new construction. Almost new, right? Finished
basically
in 2018. Man, I don't remember exactly. I think it's over 11,000 heated square foot, over 15,000 square foot under roof, on 9 acres of land. We did the photography there. Dwayne, you met us over there, and last week we did all the photography, and man, the place just looks right.
It looks awesome.
It's going to be an exciting listing, and John, that is the house that is smart enough where he has his own Twitter account.
Pretty smart house. Yeah, signed up his own Twitter account, and he's a little bit, I gotta say, he's a little bit arrogant, but he backs it up though.
Mm-hmm.
The house himself is a little bit full of himself, but it's a smart house, and quite frankly, it is smarter than the honor student.
Yeah.
He's got a little bumper sticker that says, "I'm a house, and I'm smarter than your honor student."
Yeah. So this will be a cool place. I mean, I think entertaining wise, if I don't know obviously who the buyer is going to be, but if somebody out there that's looking to entertain, have big parties, a bunch of friends, there's so much open space at that house, inside and out. They got that huge natural turf pool deck and the cabana. Just so many places to entertain, both inside and out. I'm looking forward to bringing that to market, and that's going to be a fun listing to show and to get sold. So, pay attention to our Anchor Real Estate social media and our Anchor Real Estate website. You'll see that one plastered all over the place here starting tomorrow by the end of the week. So that's about it for me on social media or on real estate. You guys got anything else to add? Anything else big coming up? I know, John, I hear some rumblings in the water. You might have a land listing coming up here in Mooresville, so that might be cool. And
Tracy's working on one.
Yep.
And she'll have that shortly.
Nice.
We hope.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, cool. Well, let's transition out of that and go into a few social media shout outs here. And Dwayne, kind of what we do on this, and we didn't prepare you at all for the show, so we don't expect you to play along. But we do every week we do what we call a social media shout out. So we obviously all of us, follow social media pretty well, pretty close. We all got Twitter accounts and Instagram and Facebook. And throughout the week, as we're scrolling through social media, if we come across a post on any of those platforms that kind of hits home to us, or maybe it's a post that's stirring up a lot of drama, whatever it is, we just kind of pin it and talk about it quickly on the show. So if you think of any that you've seen this week, feel free to chime in. I've got two, John, that I wanted to bring up. And the first one was an Instagram post, and I just seen this post today. And it was from a good buddy of mine, Justin Boston. You guys know Justin. Mm-hmm. I think all three of you, or all of you in here in the office here, know Justin. He's a real estate broker, and I seen him post today on Instagram. He represented Zane Smith, up-and-coming driver. I think he just ran last weekend for Dale Jr. for Junior Motorsports. Represented him. Zane closed on his first home today, so I thought that's cool. I always like to give a shout-out to any young people that are first-time home buyers out there, and that's cool to see Zane and his, I think, girlfriend. I don't think they're married. I don't remember what Zane's age is. I think he might be 19 or 20, but always cool to see millennials. And I guess Zane isn't technically even a millennial. He's probably a Gen Z guy. But always cool to see that younger crowd, stepping up and becoming first-time home buyers. So shout out to Justin, good closing buddy, and shout out to Zane on the purchase of your first home. I think that's really cool. My second shout out, John, that I have is a Twitter shout out, and this one really hit home to me. And it's not really real estate related, nor is it racing related. So
that's okay.
You guys know me pretty well, and anybody that knows me pretty well knows that if I'm not talking about racing and I'm not talking about real estate, my third passion in this world is animals. So big animal lover. I'm the president of Lake Norman Humane, and I seen a post yesterday on Twitter. This was posted on the Humane Society of the United States Twitter account, and anybody that isn't following them, you can follow them at Humane Society. And their post, once again, this was yesterday, it says Dow AgroSciences is conducting a 1-year pesticides test on 36 beagles.
I saw that just a minute ago.
Yeah. This cruel and unnecessary test includes the force feeding of pesticides to dogs. We must act fast, as the dogs who don't die from the toxicity test will be euthanized. And there's a link right on this tweet from the Humane Society of the United States that goes to a petition that they're asking people to sign. They're trying to get these dogs freed. And I obviously signed that petition yesterday, and I think at that time there was about 106,000 people that had signed. And hopefully they're creating enough noise in the social media world to get the folks over there at Dow AgroSciences shut down from doing this. Man, I'm a big believer in treating all of our animals fairly, and I don't like to see stuff like this. So anybody that is listening that has not seen the post, please go to Humane Society on Twitter and click on that link and sign that petition. Let's get these folks shut down. John, what do you got?
Well, my social media shout out is about animals too, but it's on a much different level.
Okay.
I was just really happy to read that last year Americans spent $1.6 billion on Halloween costumes for their pets.
$1.6 billion with a B.
On Halloween costumes for their pets.
Wow.
I like it.
That's a big number.
Because Tracy and I did, 2 years ago, we bought
Halloween costumes for the dogs?
We bought a police officer outfit for our German Shepherd because she's into law enforcement. And then our poor mediocre Dane, he had to be the convict. He had the stripes. But we did too, yeah. So people are out there taking care of their pets.
I like it.
Getting Halloween costumes.
Makes me think that we should maybe stock some Halloween costumes at the new Lake Norman Humane.
I think we should go a full costume boutique.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a lot of money to think about that was spent for one holiday. Now, did you take your dogs trick or treating then too? Did you walk them around the neighborhood in their costumes or anything?
Nope.
Or
they stayed at home with their costumes.
So they put their costumes on and just walked around the house.
Yep.
Okay.
And just helped us greet trick or treaters.
Whatever works. Dwayne, anything social media wise that strikes you, or you silent on that one?
Instagram's been down all day.
Yeah.
So I haven't, and I've been pretty busy at work. So
I got you. I didn't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah. No. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
All good, man. All good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Maybe next week.
Cool. All right, man. Well, I think that's it in terms of all the stuff we wanted to recap, John. We can do a quick clear to close, and I love John's clear to closes because he's always, philosophical and gives a cool quote, and it always makes me think a lot. So I can't wait to hear clear to close from John every week.
Now the pressure's on.
Yeah, pressure's on. Let's hear something, John.
Okay, well, I'm repeating one from last year, Josh, but I feel it bears repeating.
Okay.
Because I heard it again just the other day. Former Speaker of the House Paul Ryan once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we should use them in that proportion." So as you go away from this, remember, listen, don't always talk.
Yeah. I love it, man. That's great. All right, clear to close for me. Don't forget, Wind Down Wednesday is happening pretty much now, John. It's past 5 o'clock.
Yep.
I think Tracy is standing out there uncorking wine as we speak.
Let's hope.
And getting the glasses ready. So we're going to go have some wine and celebrate with a few friends that are going to stop by. And we thank all of you for listening. Dwayne, we thank you for stopping by, sharing some racing knowledge with us. Be safe out there this weekend at Auto Club Speedway. And folks, thanks for tuning in and listening. This is Season 2, Episode 3 of Racing to Real Estate, and we thank you for listening.